Welcome back to horse racing today after a 1 day hiatus. Terry Hollywood Hay comes back for a hump day at Gulfstream Park. Mr. Terry, how are you on this hump day?
Oh, I'm pretty good. Just a little tired from all the activities been going on. But other than
Hmm.
that, I'm good.
Probably need my microphone a little bit closer so I sound a little
That's
bit
better.
more clear, not like
Yeah,
when I'm speaking through a tomato can, right?
that's
The
right. You were
original.
echoing before, so
So yeah, I just it takes me a while for the gray matter to register upstairs from time to time. So we're off to Gulfstream Park today. An 8 race card. A lot of maiden races in there. I feel like Terry, but with maiden races, you never know. Chalky. Yesterday, really sloppy at Parks. Makes you just never know what kind of running form you're going to get in a slop. It's muddy down there today at Gulfstream Park. So all of the turf races have been moved to Tapeta. So we got Tapeta or muddy dirt. Those are our two choices. But before we get to Tapeta or muddy dirt, make sure you get on over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet, where Mahoning Valley is the free track of the day. There's a link in the description down below. Kindly use that. Or if you're following us on Twitter or Facebook or somewhere else, you'll find some links there as well. So kindly make sure you take care of that. All right, Terry. Well, we're going to do Gulfstream Park, as I mentioned. You ready to rock and roll and get back in the saddle?
yeah, let's get going here. And then this first race, we're going to go 5.5 furlongs on an all-weather track. It's going to be a maiden claiming 12,500, purse 22,000 for maidens, fillies, and 3-year-olds.
Pretty simple, very basic in terms of the conditions. So at the 5.5 furlongs on the synthetic course, Terry, early speed, baby, you best be fast because 50%, 1 out of 2, 50% go wire to wire. That's about as big as number as you're going to see, maybe aside from a quarter horse race. The rail is fair. 2 and 3 played a little bit of discount. 4 through 7 play fair. The best place to be is 8 and out with some early speed. We do 10,000 simulations, Terry, looking to see who has the early speed. We also want to see if there's any value in the races. We want to see our simulation odds lower than the post-time odds. Based upon our simulations, what chance a horse has to run a race above par. Par meaning that the race, wrong button there. Par meaning that the race would produce a speed figure, at least the winning horse, of, in this case, 73 or more, the average winning speed figure for the distance conditions. And then finally, we want to see, based upon, again, our early pace, how likely the race is to mirror the best performances of the horse's career. So, in other words, comfort zone. How comfortable what language was that? How comfortable the horse will be with today's projected pace. Terry, sure looks like one of them is going to be fastest out of the gate.
Yeah, that's that number 4 horse, and he's looks like he's going to break out of there, maybe go all the way. And here right now, he's right. He's 1-9 on in the odds. And
Yeah, you
then
got to try to beat that, right?
yeah, I know. Well, we thought it was going to be an overlay, but it's really not going to be, I don't think. And then the 5 shows an overlay from 11-1 to 15-1. The par number is 4, and the comfort zone number are 7, 5, and 4.
So Aldo missed you yesterday, Terry, and
Thanks,
as far as parks today, we do parks Monday and Tuesday, and then on Wednesday and Thursday during the championship meet at Gulfstream Park, we did Gulfstream. That's where all the best horses are, the best jockeys, the best competition. So, much like Terry and I, we're the best online handicappers. We want to go where the best action is, right, Terry? Forget
Correct.
online, just
Absolutely.
on the planet, bar none. There's nobody better than us, Terry. So as far as that's concerned, Terry, we do see some nice numbers in there. A lot of red, though. So with these maiden claiming races, a whole lot could go on. So we also look at the way the race shape, how the horses have run in the past and done their best performances. The 4, Reassess, wants to be on the lead. That's where it's done its best work. 5 wants to be a pressure type horse, so right in that co-pilot chair. You got the 1 and the 6. So far in their careers, they have not been within 5 lengths of the winner at the finish line. And, of course, the 7, Too Hot to Stop. One's making its first race of the year, of its career. Looking at the early speed, Reassess should be the one when the gates open and the synthetic starts flying. has the lead and maybe about a length and a half ahead of everybody else. Along with that, it has the most late speed, one of those horses that you can't pass if you can't catch it. And then finally, it does also have a pretty aggressive total pace advantage. Look at this horse. All right, Richard, press the button the right way. 13-point advantage over the next closest horse, which means it could win by about 3 lengths, notwithstanding what Too Hot to Stop brings to the table. Terry, any way to beat this 4?
It's going to be pretty bad unless this horse really, unless this horse really gets out of the gate bad. The 7 just bucked his jockey off there. So
that helps.
Oh, maybe that was a different track because now I see the 7 with the jockey back on.
All right,
Oh well. Anyway, the 4 is had run second versus tougher in her last race and drops in class today and has the highest last speed rating, has a high percentage winning jockey. And then number 7, Too Hot to Stop, is the second choice. She's a first-time starter whose breeding suggests that she'll like today's distance, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. My Sweetheart Danny, the 5's my third pick, drops in class today, and 6 is Touched by Quality. She finished 4th in her last race after having some trouble in this race. So if she can get a better trip, she may do better. No bets in this race for me.
So the 4 right now, 1-5, deserves to be 1-5. Missed by a head in her last. That was a class at least higher than this one. Kind of hard to get past her with all of the other experienced horse in here really not showing much of anything. Too Hot to Stop. There's your first-time starter. Does have some solid breeding relative to the rest of the field. Irad is going to ride this horse, so good jockey on a first-time starter in here. The works, as far as the first-timers, weren't as good as the 2 who scratched out. So really not a whole lot of other horses to beat in here with Too Hot to Stop. I'm going to go with a little bit of a flyer with Revolu, the 1 horse up in there. It's the other horse that has a chance to get to the lead according to our simulations. And again, if you can get to the front, you have a 50-50 chance to steal this race. Close to the front, 5.5 furlongs. Let's take the highest odds at the rail, which actually plays fair. And then finally, Touched by Quality, the 6 horse, gets my third call as well. Maybe a little bit more upside than the other 2 horses in this race, simply because it has run fewer times. I'm going to do a 50-cent pick 4. This one's really a slice of cheese pick 4, maybe the bun pick 4. I don't know what you want to call it, Terry, but
pick 5.
Pick 5, yes, I guess, yes, pick 5. This is a slice of cheese pick 5. I'm going to single the 4 like every other human being on the planet, or you either got to single the 4 or toss it out. Those are your 2 choices. Then I'm going to go with the 6, 8, the 1, 3, 5, 6 in race number 3, and then I'm going to go single on the back end. So 3 singles in my pick 5, expecting some chalk prices to hit, and then maybe you get a price in the middle that can turn my 8 into 16. If I can make it all the way through, Terry. Buenas tardes. Let me go ahead and let me translate this to English in my world there. Good afternoon. The 4 is going to win this race. Indeed. 4s across the board. Kind of hard to envision Marcos Ramirez anything other than the 4 winning, but it's horse racing. And I've seen too many races like this, Terry, where the 4 finishes in second place.
Yeah, me too.
Are they making their way to the gates?
They are, but not real fast.
Well, they never do anything real fast down in Florida.
No, they don't.
At Gulfstream Park, anyway. All right, let's try to rip our way through race number 2 and see what happens.
All right, in this race number 2 is a mile. It's a maiden optional claiming, $50,000 claiming price, $50,000 purse. It's for the 3-year-old Florida bred or maiden claiming price of $50,000.
So at a mile on that course down there in Hollandale, Florida, you see that it's a 1-turn mile, so it acts more like a sprint than it does a route. Looking at it, you see that play out because 19% of the horses go wire to wire. Early speed is the dominant winning factor. Pretty small bonus on the inside for the post position wise. 4 and out to play under par. But the closer you are to the rail, the better off you are, Terry. Do we have any inside speed in race number 2?
Well, let's see. We've got the 1 that shows the most speed, and the 2 is right up there with it. So, yeah, we do have some inside speed, as you see there. And then the 8 has an overlay of like 4 to 5 to or 3 to 5 to 1 to even money, and then the 8 also shows the best C zone. I mean par number, and then the
Mhm.
4 has the only C zone number in here.
Yeah, none of them really like the projected pace. You got the 5 here in race number 2 being a lone E horse. So if that one can get to the lead, look out. 6 and an 8 with a little bit of versatility in their game. All these others haven't finished anywhere near the winner when they took the photo finish photo. Our early speed belongs to Troublemaster. That lone E out there, Terry, could participate, but kind of off the pace there a little bit. Late speed belongs to Practically Dark, a length quicker than everybody else, going to be right up in there as well early on. Our total pace source, Practically Dark, 6 points clear of the Monopoly Man, who himself is 9 points clear. This race looks like it comes down to the 6 or the 8 from a total pace scenario, Terry. We won't go to our picks just yet because race number 1's about to rock and roll at Gulfstream Park in a moment. We should hear the wonderful call of Peter Aiello as he shares his view of what's happening on the track from his bird's nest up there, which I've been in there. Pete's a great guy, and they're off and running, Mr. Terry, and the one horse has indeed bolted out to the lead, Terry. The 4 horse giving chase, those 2 up on the lead. The other 3 horses about a length behind, kind of stacked up 3 wide across the course. So they run down the backstretch. No real change in the running order. The 1 horse still has the lead. 4 horses galloping along comfortably to the outside. Looks like the 3 horse taking that 2 path with the 5 on the rail. They're trying to get involved in this race. The 7 horse, the first time starter, patiently in the back of the track there, probably around 3 lengths off of the leaders. It's going to have to do some work to find its way into the mix here. The 1 continues to make the 4 work. They go through the opening quarter in 22 and 3. It kind of came off the rail a little bit, those 2, opening up a little bit of a space on the inside for the 5 horse, Terry. Looks like the 4 and 1 are going to continue to duke it out. That long shot 1 giving him all he's got, Terry. But the 4 horse going to get the win there. It's going to go 4, then 1, then 5, and then 6. 4, 1, 5, 6. The 7 horse didn't show up at all, Terry.
Wow. Pretty neat.
Yeah, I should have put that 1 second. I would have got myself at least a decent exacta there, right? Because neither one of us is really going to get any kind of money with that 4 horse winning.
Yeah, who ran third?
The 5 horse ran third.
Oh, it's too bad. Well, if we combined our tickets, we would have had the trifecta. That 5 was 14 to 1, and of course that 1 was 18 to 1. So that's going to pay a nice trifecta, probably. Not
maybe
real big, not real big because the 1 to 9 favorite, but
yeah, because the only other horse in here that was any action was the 7 horse. So I'm sure there might have been a few tickets that went 1-7 all. I guess that would be how a lot of tickets would go.
Yeah,
probably made more sense to do an exacta. Let's see, what did the exacta pay for the 4-1? Because it's going to tell us right here the exacta pool. So 4-1 exacta was $8 for $1. So even that didn't pay much, which was the biggest exacta on the board, though. Terry, it was the highest payout of $8.
Yeah, that's
kind of hard to make a living like that.
That's right.
Want to say thank to Icy Bet. Thank you, Michael Ruggiero. Thanks, Mike, for the thumbs up. We appreciate that. Monica Bryan, thank you for joining us on this hump day. And Muhammad Abdul, thank you for the thumbs up on Facebook. Glad to see that they're able to get their servers working again. Them and Instagram, same company, though, right? Offline yesterday. They can't even knock us offline, Terry, if they try. All right, race number 2. Let's go back to our selections, Mr. Terry.
All right. Well, that 8 horse that you were talking about showing up there on top on most of those columns, Practically Dark is my first choice. Ran second versus similar in his only start. Has the highest last speed rating and the best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. The Monopoly Man, number 6, my second choice, finished third versus similar in his only start, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. Troublemaster, the 1, drops in class today, my third chart pick. And then my long shot is the 5, One Sharp Cookie. He finished third versus similar in his last race as a favorite, but has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 27% of the races when bringing back a favorite to race again. And no bet in this race again for me.
Interesting. Really interesting. Anyhow, looking at the, I like the 8 horse here too, Terry. That's my top selection in there as well. Practically Dark. It is the maiden special weight dropper, which is the biggest class drop in all of horse racing. Repeat of its debut race is going to win here. The February 22nd workout says another sturdy effort is on tap this Wednesday. The Monopoly Man, the 6 horse, gets the second choice for me, just like you, Terry. Typical second race improvement for this one should be enough to be competitive. It's interesting to note that Tyler Gaffleone rode the 8 last time out. He's on the 6 this time out. Irad is on the 8 this time. So I don't know if they kicked Tyler off because they didn't like the run on the 8 last time, or for some reason Tyler prefers the 6 in this spot. Kind of interesting jockey intrigue right there. Number 3, the finger roll. Terry, do you like basketball?
Yeah, it's fun to watch.
Who is the master of the finger roll?
Oh, I have no idea about that.
Old timers will get that one. That's a Jeopardy question where you could take the $1,000 answer and quadruple it. It's George Gervin, I think the godfather of the finger roll. Just really nice. That guy weighed about 105 pounds and was 6'9". So not a lot of meat on those bones.
No,
but sure could roll that ball into the cup. After the finger roll, the reason I like the finger roll in here, Terry, didn't get the best trip in its debut. If it gets a cleaner trip here in the second career start, could upgrade its performance and perhaps upset the 8 and the 6. And then I have Troublemaster too, Terry, as my kind of a long shot playing here. Another one that's a maiden special weight dropper, showed more early speed in its second career race there, in its last race. Going to try the route for the second time under trainer Patrick Biancone, who, when makes that move, the second route race, only 7 times so far in the new year, but won 3 of them. So pretty high win percentage. No bets for me other than our standard $2 to win on our top pick, $1 exacta box with our top 2 picks, 50-cent trifecta box with our top 3, and then a 10-cent superfecta box with all 4. You're going to have to run in the right order here with those 8 and 6 for any of those to really pay much, Terry.
That's right.
In the third spot,
Okay.
Third race of the day, Terry, what do we got cooking here?
Well, we're stretching out to 1 mile and 70 yards, all-weather track, an allowance race, $50,000, purse of $42,000. 4-year-olds and upwards, which have started for a claiming price of $50,000 or less, and which have never won a race other than maiden claiming state bred.
And at a mile and 70 yards, the profile of a winner favors horses that like to sit right off the lead. Although 1 out of 5 still manages to capture the lead early, hold on to the lead, and enter the winner's circle, pass and go, collecting the winner's check. The rail is fair for Be Like Clint. 2 and 3 actually get a little bit of an extra juice. 4 through 7 play fair. 8 and out, they get penalized pretty aggressively, Terry. So some inside stalking. That's nice to see, right? When it just everything just goes black on you. My computer lately has just been on a whole different world. So, So we're looking for some inside stalking speed in race number 3, but it just looks like one's going to dominate the race when it gets started.
Yep, there's that 2 that shows all that speed. The only other horse that has a little speed is the 6. The 2 has an overlay from about 3.5 to 1 to 6 to 1. The 3 has an overlay from 3 to 1 to 5 to 1, and the 5 has an overlay from 3 to 1 to 9 to 2. The 2 has the best par numbers out of all of them, although the first 3 have some good par numbers too. All but the 3 have decent C zones.
So real quick, Par Plus, if you're new, it's the opportunity. We do 10,000 simulations, and of those simulations, 33.5% of the time, Broken Spur produced a speed figure above or equal to 87. So good shot for that horse to get that done. And over here we have C zone. So we project out the early pace, and then we compare the early pace to horses' best performances. And 95% of the time, our projected pace matches Be Like Clint's best performances, hence the comfort zone or C zone. We also do what's basically called pace handicapping, right? Pace makes the race, our good friend Chris Parmalu says. In this case, the 6 horse Broken Spur is what you call a lone E. Everybody wants Lone E. It means that one wants to be on the lead. If it can get the lead, its confidence will grow. But it does look like Cartographer. That's a 7-point advantage over Wriggle. Every 5 points equals about 1 length. So the 2 horse, especially with the 1 horse not being all that fast, should clear, should get to the lead, and maybe be as much as 1.5 lengths ahead of everybody else at the opening quarter-mile marker. When they come for home, the late speed can be a determining factor. Be Like Clint will be right there as well. So about 1.5 lengths faster than everybody down the stretch. And then as we look at our top total pace horses in here, Terry, Sunshine Frolic, Wriggle, Cartographer, Be Like Clint, pretty tight mix in here. Really, only the 7 horse doesn't fit in. So just from this standpoint, folks, we do our math on this. 75% of the time, the winner comes from the top 4 total pace horses. Terry, any of those that you think gets the W here?
I like that one. Be Like Clint. He won his last race at Gulfstream. He has the best all-weather speed in the fastest among today's starters. He's actually tied with another one. He has a high percentage winning trainer, and jockey. And this jockey trainer combination in the last 14 days have won 2 out of their 3 starts. So a lot of boxes marked there. Number 6, Broken Spur, my second choice, finished in the money in his last 4 races. So very competitive right now, in good shape, winning one of those starts. He has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey and 3 bullet workouts in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 5, Back Chat, is my third pick. He ran second, but it was on the turf. But we don't need to worry about that today. In his last race, his best all-weather speed was fastest among today's starters. He's actually tied with that horse above that I talked about, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. And then I like the 2 as my long shot. He ran second in his last race, just missing the win by a neck, and has a high percentage winning jockey. Again, no bet for me here.
I'm going to go a little bit different route here. I'm going to go with your third pick as my top choice. Back Chat. Just looking through the past performances, you see Irad jumping on the horse. I don't know if the trainer contacts Irad's agent when he feels like the horse is ready to go. But once in the last 10 times, Irad rode Back Chat, and guess what happened, Terry?
You must have won.
Yeah, it was the only time in the last 10 times the horse won. So maybe putting Irad back on there again is an indication that the trainer thinks Back Chat is ready to put in another winning effort. Be Like Clint, that one's going to be your morning line favorite. Absolutely in career best form, no question about that. Has a pretty decided late speed edge over the rest of the horses, as we saw in our pace sheets right there. We're going to take a really big hike in class, though, off of the claim. And then off top of that, it's going to be coming from the back at a distance and surface that kind of favors horses a little bit more forwardly placed. I think it's a shot that one can run out of room before the finish line. Broken Spur, the 6 horse. This is my third choice. Its career best effort was the only time that the horse managed to run on the all-weather surface. He's going to be on the gas from go today, Terry. And if he can get to the lead, he could repeat that all-weather performance and go up the way. And then finally, Sunshine Frolic, the 3 horse, Terry, my final choice in here. He's got 3 races on the all-weather. 2 out of the 3 would be good enough to compete with even the top horses in here. So I think this race really boils down to, for me anyway, the horses that seem like they prefer the all-weather track over those that might like the grass or the dirt instead. Again, no bets for me other than our standard win, exacta, trifecta, superfecta wagers using our 4 selections. Off to race 4 we go in an 8-race card, Terry. One of the middle races. They're going to run a mile on the dirt again.
Yeah, we're going to go mile on that dirt, as you said. It's a maiden 89,000 with a purse of 89,000. It's for maidens, fillies, and mares, 3-year-olds and upward.
Should mention it's a mile in the mud, right? That probably would be more accurate what's going on. In this 1-turn mile over there, again, speed is a more important factor with 1 turn versus 2. It is a factor here as well because early speed does win far more frequently than closers. 1 out of 5 go gate to wire. The rail plays fair for dazzling move. You get a little bit extra juice for post 2 and 3. The rest of them, the farther you get from the post, the lower your odds of winning go. So there's an absolute inside-out bias, Terry. So in race number 4, like in some other races here, we're looking for some inside speed. Terry, I don't know how this got all whacked out, but there we go. It does look like there is one in here that has a ton of inside speed.
Yeah, that one shows almost lots of inside speed, and in this mud, if he can get out there, he maybe eliminate some of the competition that doesn't like the mud to fly up in their face. And then that one also shows an overlay from about 4-5 to 4-1. None of these have any par numbers, and all but the 1 and 3 show some kind of C zones.
Yeah, but all low C zones, so the pace could be really uncomfortable. Positioning could be really important here. So far in these horses' careers, man, look, the 2 and the 5, they haven't been close. The 1 and the 7, they wanted to close. The 3 and the 6, those two are going to give it a go for the first time, making their debuts. I mean, the story is pretty simple here, Terry. Looking at the early speed, Dazzling Move, a length quicker than Secret Samaritan. And then as far as the late speed is concerned, the one horse again, about a length quicker than Exhilarate. Gets to the front. You might not be able to catch again, but you can't pass what you can't catch, Terry. And if you look at the top total pace for this guy, it's 19 points clear of the next closest horse. If this goes to pass, Terry, Dazzling Move should be able to vanquish the other experienced horses. The question is, what do the 3 and the 6 bring to the table? If you go by total pace, how did you break down this race?
Well, I went with the first-time starter, the 3, Sidamara. She is a first-time starter whose dam has 2 winners from 4 starters, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and she has a bullet workout on February 29th. I think if she gets out of that gate and goes, she's going to do really well. Then I like that number 2 is my second placed horse. She drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer and Lasix added today. Dazzling Move, the one that shows there, she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, my third pick. My long shot is a 6, which is a very I can run. Anyway, she's a first time starter whose dam has 9 winners. That's a lot out of 11 starters, and 2 of those were stakes winners. So that's pretty good. And she has a high percentage winning jockey, and no bet in here for me either.
I like the one horse Dazzling Move in here, Terry. I just think it's going to, notwithstanding what the 3 does, or the other first time starter in here, I just think too much early speed and has that 17 point total pace advantage over the other experienced horses. I think really the only horse in here that's going to have a shot at it is the 3 horse, which is the first time starter in here, Sidamara. Breeding is good. The workouts for the most part have been Trainer Bill Mott does win 12% of the time with maiden special weight debuters. That's a pretty good number in there. But when he trots them out for their first time at a mile or more, that number drops down to 7%. I don't really think Bill Mott necessarily comes out looking to win on the debut race so much as he's prepping it for something that's upcoming, but got Irad on there. So you're going to put Irad on a horse that didn't have a shot. The 5 horse Secret Samaritan, my third choice in here. I'm going to take another flyer like the one in the first race there. This guy had been off for more than a year. And before he went off, he did show some flashes of early speed before tiring at the end. They sidelined him last year. Was he 2? Is he just turning 3 years old in here, Terry? Yes, they're all she's just turning 3 years old. At 2 years old, one of the key things here is you can't get Lasix, right, Terry?
Right.
And because you can't get Lasix and they put it on the sidelines right away, that tells me that maybe the horse bled. You can't give it Lasix, so you stick it on the sidelines so you can give it Lasix. It has Lasix now as a 3-year-old. I think that early speed and Lasix combination is one that's proven to be a winner for me over and over and over again. So let's see if it does it again at some nice odds. And then finally, Exhilarate, the 2 horse in here, Terry. This could have some hidden talent, making only its 3rd career start. Another one that's eligible for first-time Lasix, which could be a difference maker. I'm going to put that one in there on top, Terry, 3-5-2 in our standard bets. And also, I think I had the 1 as a single in my pick 5 as well. If you're new to us, kindly, if you're on Twitter, please retweet our show so that your friends and network can follow us. If you haven't done so yet on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. One of the things you can do while you're on YouTube is they have this wonderful share button down here. kindly hit that share button, copy that link right there, and then send that to your friends on your social sites or however it is you communicate. If you haven't done so on any of our social sites, you see them scrolling down there below. Horse Race, the number today. Kindly hit the subscribe buttons, follow us, and share our content with your friends. We greatly appreciate the help growing. How long do we have to the next race?
About 7 minutes.
So we have a half an hour. All right,
Yeah.
let's go off to race number 5.
Okay, race 5 is 7.5 furlongs. It was originally on the turf, but now I think it's on the all weather.
Mm-hmm.
Optional claiming race, $35,000 claiming price. It's a $39,000 purse. And it's for 3-year-olds which have started for a claiming price of $35,000 or less, or which have never won a race other than a maiden or claiming price of $35,000.
Yes, and looking at the, if you want to know if the horse is for sale and the optional claiming on the Brisnet sheets, there would be 35,000 here. It's not there for Summer, Storm, Strick. Is anybody in for a price in here today, Terry? Yes, you can see K Crown.
Yeah.
If you had Terry's lunch money, you can go in there and buy that one and have some change left over for a tip. 7.5 furlongs, as you mentioned, it's off that. So they're going to go to the Topeka course for 1 mile and 70 yards. Got a few of those today. 1 mile and 70 yards on that synthetic surface. Stalkers do good, but still 1 out of 5 go wire to wire. The rail place fair 2 and 3, a little bit of a bonus. It's actually the best place to be. 4 through 7, they play fair 8 and out, a little bit of a discount. So you kind of want to be on the inside again, Terry, in race number 5, preferably some speed, and the big speed scratched out. So everybody else with some opportunity to set the tone.
Yeah, several of them have shows some speed, but that 10 shows the most. The 1 has an overlay from 12 to 1 to 30 to 1, and the 3 has an overlay from almost 2.5 to 1 to 8 to 1. None of them show any par numbers, and then the 10, 5, and 4 have the best C zones.
Yeah, the 10 showing the most green in here. Again, a lot of different colors spread out all over the place. This race probably one that's wide open. I think that personally for me, I think the change in surface makes a big difference. The 3 horse becomes a lone E. Will he have the lead? Tough to say because it looks like the 10, Kaiku Abario, might be the fastest out of the gate, though it does have enough pace to its inside that the 10 will have to work to get to the front, maybe work a little bit too hard. If not, you can save some energy for the end of the race where My Life Story has the most late speed, probably going to be about 1.5 lengths, maybe up to 2 lengths off the front runners in here. Ike's Gamble, the front runner over here potentially, that one has the second most late speed. If you look at our top total pace, Ike's Gamble and Kaiku Abario, those two stand about 1.5 lengths, maybe 1.75 lengths above the rest of the field. 310, exact the box, Terry, might be the way to go, but you said 3. See you later. I'm going to go somewhere else altogether.
Yeah, My Life Story, the 9. He ran second in his last race, has a high percentage winning jockey, and a really good workout on March 4th. And then that 10 is my second choice, won his last race at Gulfstream Park. His best, well, it doesn't matter about the turf speed. And he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Number 4, Don't Be So Grouchy is my third pick. He ran second versus similar on an all-weather in his last race. And then K Crown is my long shot, the 5. He may improve while trying. Well, that won't happen. He also has a high percentage winning trainer. So
I think the surface switch is a big deal in this race, Terry. So that's why I put the 3 on top. The inside posts are better than the outside posts. And I think this one is the best fit for the all-weather track. That's what the resume says. And the surface switch post position-wise gives the inside speed a little bit of an advantage. If not, the 10 horse, Kaiku Abario, could be the pace setter. Did run a Z pattern last time out. If you're new, and we explained the Z pattern before, but when you're looking through the pace figures in here, you see the early pace here was a 95, followed it up with an 83, so it dipped a little bit. So you're here, then down, and then the horse rebounds, gets a second wind higher than this one, so there is the rebound. So your Z pattern in the last race in the maiden claiming win for the 10 horse. And then you also see here that the early pace numbers were better in the early part and better in the late part and maintained in the middle. So the horse showing some improvement in that race. I'm going to go with the 9 horse, your top pick, My Life Story, as the third choice. race after its debut. The horse is getting incrementally better. So if it continues to step up that ladder, Terry, could be the winner as you project. And then finally, K Crown, the 5 horse, was a tough call for me over the 4, but the debut race on the all-weather might be good enough to win here. Its second race was on grass, so moving back to the all-weather is the key. I'm going to do a 50-cent pick 4 with my remaining money from my $100 budget. Is 3-7 over the 1-3-7 over the 2-3-7 over the 1, 3, and 6 in the last 3 races. Looks like we have enough time to do the next race, Terry, because
We do, yes.
They're stating 2 minutes to post time. That's really going to be like 7 minutes. So let us know what the conditions are for this one.
Okay, it's 1 mile and 70 yards, and it's on the all-weather track. It's a claiming race of $20,000 claiming price, $34,000 purse for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward.
Thank you for the nice words, Gervin. And we also pointed you out today as the #1 finger roll guy, George Gervin, but you might as well lay claim to that today. No one will know any better. At 1 mile and 70 yards, Terry, we got a few of these today. Stalkers do pretty good. Rocky Blyer, 20% go wire to wire. It does appear that there's a little bit of an inside advantage over the rest of the horses, particularly the inside 3. Tactical Speed with the inside 3 in race number 5, Terry, could make a difference. Again, a lot of this speed scratched out, so a few on the inside have a chance. Oh, that's the wrong race there. Let's go to the right race, number 6. Yeah, all right, Terry, there is a bunch of speed in this race. Everybody with a chance but the 4 to get on top.
That's correct. All but that 4, but that 2 shows the most speed. The 1 has a small overlay, just very small, from 2 1/4 to 2.5. The 3 has a small overlay, and not very much. It's almost the same. And then the 7 shows a nice overlay from 5 to 2 to 7 to 2. All of them have par numbers, and there's 2 of them with 100% par numbers. So that's pretty nice.
Yeah, we haven't seen that before. Nothing's 100%, but
no. And all of the horses, but the 1 and 3 show some kind of C zones.
Again, all under 50 though, so the pace could be questionable for everybody. 100 par plus score means that in the 10,000 simulations we did, 10,000 out of 10,000. That's somewhat amazing. Those horses produced a speed figure above or equal to 79 in our simulations. In race 6, our race shape, Terry, look at this. Most people want to be middle back. Very little early speed in the sense that the horses are lead dependent. Not a single horse carries that moniker, but Wicked Mercury should be the one, the PC type. So we would call this a left arrow horse, one that typically wants to be middle back, whose early speed should put it in contention early on and still has those late legs to boot. In fact, the 3 horse has the second best late speed behind the EP type, another versatile horse. Sandpiper Memories, our top total pace horses. 3 stand clear, Terry. The 1, the 3, and the 7, they are about at least 7 points best over the next 4 horses. Put those 3 together again, you might have an exacta or a trifecta hidden in there, Terry. What do you think?
I like the 3 Wicked Mercury. She's won 2 races in a row, going for a hat trick now. She's got a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then that 7, Sandpiper Memories is my second choice. She's won 2 out of her last 3 races, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Current situation, the 5 is my third pick. Won her last race at Gulfstream and has the highest speed figure at today's distance. Then that 2 is my long shot, drops in class today. Her best all-weather speed is fastest among today's starters, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. No bets in this race for me.
Yeah, like you, I'm going to start with the 3 horse Wicked Mercury. As you mentioned, Terry, 1, 2 in a row, and the race before that was second. And those were the first 3 times the horse switched to all-weather. So maybe an all-weather fan making its second start after a layoff should improve according to the resume. 7 horse Sandpiper Memories, as we start with the same exacta. This one tends to run its best races when spending some time in the barn, coming back fresh. That is the case today for the 7. Sal's Dream Girl. This horse is the most consistent performer in the field, hands down. It's going to be closing. My problem is it might not catch the pace that it needs today to close out before the tape comes. And then finally, 2 horse Big Band Louisiana. Tough call for me over the 6 horse Starship Nana. But this one should be ahead of the 6 when the gates open and has more late speed. but they're both pretty similar. Whichever one gets the jump on the other should have the edge on the race. As far as I'm concerned, no bets either other than our standard stuff, Terry. Now we're going to rewind back to race number 2 because they're off and running. There's a lot of banging going on there between it looks like the 5 and the 4. The 4 really getting the worst of it. The 5 horse has managed to get itself to the front of the field, Terry, there. So the 1 and the 2, projected front pace runners, they didn't get there. The 5 horse at 6-1 right now on the lead. The 1 horse on the rail. The 2 horse, the other one we thought might be in contention early. They make up the first 4. The 6 horse, the Monopoly Man, that one right now about 3 lengths off the pace setter, which continues to be the 5 horse. The one, though, is making a move as the 5 horse kind of runs up the track a little bit, Terry. Kind of interesting there. He's going to push that 8 horse, the favorite, way, way wide as they come down towards the turn, which could be a difficult spot for that 8 horse to come make that move. 5 horse pulled up alongside the 1, the 8 horse striding nicely. The 6 horse is the one that's moving the best at the end of the race here, Terry. He's coming up the rail, just going to wait for something to open up on the inside. The 8 horse now engaged. You got 4 horses that are up in the front. The winner is going to come from that quartet, it looks like, Terry. 5 has managed to sneak ahead of the 1 horse. The 8 horse really struggling with that wide trip, Terry. I think he's going to have a hard time closing that deal. The 6 horse down inside there, going to come through here, Terry, and try to make its move and split horses. Going to have to make a courageous move because the 8's kind of got him boxed in a little bit, though the 5 and the 1 do separate a little bit, opening the door for the 6 horse to finally get through that gate. 6 horse making some ground up on the 5, who's kind of looking around to see if other horses are coming. It looked like the 8 horse finally got a chance to get its leads changed, but it didn't have enough at the end. So the 6 horse wins. I think the 5 horse finished second, then the 8. Then the 1, then the 8. So, Terry, you got the 10-cent superfecta with your picks there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice, isn't it?
Yeah. Let's see. Because you got the 8, the 6, the 1, and the 5. They were but getting in the right order. 6, 5, you got the good order for that. 6, 5, 8. Yeah, 6, 5, 8, and 1. And then the 3 came up for. So between us, if you had played what is it called? Like the pentafacta bet or something like that?
Yeah.
The 3 horses won that finished 5th. So we had all 5 in our selection. So if you had played that, you got a good shot in there too. But Terry coming home with the superfecta in his 10. Good morning, Christopher D'Souza. Win, play, show with the 2, 2, 3, 1. And then race number 2. There we go. All right. Let's move on to race number 8, Terry. Is that where we are now?
7.
7. All right. 2 races to go. All right. Race number 7.
Yeah, it's a 5 furlong race, but now it's off the turf and it's on the Tapeta course at 5 furlongs. And it's a optional claiming race, $75,000 claiming price, purse $91,000. It's for 3-year-olds which have never won a race other than a maiden claiming starter or restricted, or which have never won 2 races or a claiming price of $75,000.
Speed, again, going to kill in the new surface there. A bunch, about half of them go wire to wire. Post positions play mostly fair. The best place to be, though, however, is on the outside. If there is a 8 and out in race number 7, Terry, we have only 6 horses. So that really doesn't come into play there. So again, we're looking for some speed, Terry, on the inside. Again, every single horse, as you see, if they decide, has some opportunity to get to the front. Who do you think is going to do it?
Yeah, the 5 horse shows the most speed in here, and although everybody else has some kind of speed, but it's really anybody's guess, I think, who gets there. Then that 2 shows an overlay from about 6 to 5 to 7 to 2. The 2, 1, and 5 are the only ones with par numbers. Well, the 3 has one too, but anyway, and all but the 3 have pretty decent C-zones.
Yeah, the comfort ratings, again, under 50. So a pace that could stress all of these horses in this optional claiming. Most of the horses want to be middle forward. You have their pilot here, co-pilots. These are people who ride and coach. This one is your PC type, the most versatile. They really can be anywhere on the track. And the 6, of course, wants to close. Early speed-wise, there is going to be, as we saw in our 10,000 simulations, a lot of contention for that early speed. Could give the edge to the inside horses to make these other horses work to get to the front. If that's the case, then late speed could come in really handy. And You Wish has about a length of a late pace advantage over the rest of the field. Going to be sitting right there. Doesn't need the lead, so should get the trip. All these horses should get the trip they're looking for. As far as our top total pace, And You Wish scores about 3/4 of a length better than Refuel and Macville. These four well above the 7 and 6. So this looks like a 4-horse race according to top total pace between the 1, 2, 3, and 5. Terry, how did you rank them?
All right, I like in this race the 5-horse. He's the won his debut race at Great Gulfstream Park and has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 26% of the races. Well, it doesn't matter about that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has a high percentage winning jockey. The 2 is my second choice, And You Wish. He won his debut race at Gulfstream Park, has a high percentage winning jockey, and the 1 is my third pick. He's king of the track. He switches to a high percentage winning jockey, has a high percentage winning trainer, and then number 3 is my long shot, Macville. His early running style helps his chances. Has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 28% of the. Well, that doesn't matter either. Anyway, I'm going to play a $2 double, I believe, in here, all with the number 1 horse in the second or in the 8th race.
You have 2-5 with the 1. Are you going to change that to all?
I'm sorry. Yeah, 2-5. I'm sorry. I didn't write it down right. It's right what it says there. 2-5 for $6.
I think the 2 horse is going to win this race. I do think it's between the 2 and the 5. I gave the 2 the edge because that horse debuted on all weather, really won without working very hard. And that's why he gets the call over to 5, because the race got moved off the grass to the all weather. Had they ran on the grass, then Refuel would have been the choice for me. 2 did win in his debut as well. I like the comment. He was cute. In other words, he waited, and then they wanted the horse to work because they know they have something positive here, and then responded. That race was on grass. So the switch to the all weather, you don't know how the horses are going to respond. You do know that the 2 horse performed well when it debuted there. Billy the Greek. I don't know why I have that one. This one should really be my. Let me go back here, Terry. I messed this up a little bit. It should go 7-3 because that's the way I have it written in my notes, and that's the way it should be. So let me go back and change this to the 7 and then the 3, and then we'll rewind back to race number 7. I like Billy the Greek because he did win his debut. Then they tried him in a pair of non-graded stakes races for $150,000 and $500,000. Now, sometimes I think trainers in connections, they overvalue their horses, much like fantasy football players. But Saffie Joseph Jr. is not one of those trainers. He had him in those races for a reason. He thought the horse had some quality to him. He's not in this race for a price. So he's an optional claiming race. You'll see that you can't buy the 7 if you wanted to. Oh, yeah. He actually isn't for a price.
Yeah, 75,000.
He is in for a price. So scratch that out there. I still got a feeling, though, that with that first-time Lasix, they are prepping this horse if he doesn't get claimed for something bigger. And if you could claim him, I think he's got a shot. Otherwise, they wouldn't have run him in those big races. And then finally, the 3-horse Macville. The only time that horse ran on the all-weather track, Terry, did pretty good. Maiden special win was better than the dirt race. And the turf races. So I think the second time after a layoff is going to be very important here. So in his first race, he ran in some surface other than all weather. Then in the second race, ran on the all weather, won that race. Came back, I think, to run in grass last time. So this time we're going to go back to all weather. Same pattern. Finally, race number 8, last race on the card for us today, Terry. So I confused the hell out of myself in race number 8. Maybe I can gather myself in race number 7 for race number 8.
Yeah, well, this is a 6.5 furlong race. It's a maiden claiming $12,500, a $22,000 purse, and it's for maidens, fillies, 3-year-old.
And 6.5 furlongs on the muddy dirt course will favor horses that can get to the front. Nearly 30% win wire to wire. Really strong rail advantage for Castellana. Looks like the heavy favorite there, ridden by Paco Lopez. You got fairish 2 through 7, but there is a little bit of an inside to outside bonus there. So far, if you're war number 8, that's an unlucky spot to be because 8 and above hasn't won. Fortunately, the 8 and 9 scratched out in this case, Terry, so that record won't go. The O remains. Who's got the lead here when this race gets started?
Well, there's several of them, but I think it's going to be between the 1 and the 4. They're going to go head and head to that quarter pole, and then that 1 shows an overlay of from about what's that, 4 to 5 to like 7 to 5, and then the 7 shows an overlay of just about 3.5 to 1 to 4.5 to 1. The 1 is the only one with a par number, and the all but the 3 show some kind of C zones.
Yeah, 4 and 5 look like they're going to be the most comfortable, and neither one of them made our pick. So maybe we'll regret that when the day of racing is over. Pretty balanced race. You got the 2, 5, and 7. So far, they haven't been able to finish within 5 lengths of the leader. So in this field, maybe you can cut out a couple horses by eliminating the 2, 5, and 7. Did the 8-horse scratch here, Terry? I don't think that one should be there, right? Yes. I think the 7 and the 8 scratched, right?
Yes, they did.
All right, so let's take them out. So that really balances out the race then right there. But still, the 2 and 5, those two have not finished in within 5 lengths of the leader. Early on, when the race gets started, you could see pretty competitive, 10-point difference between the top and the bottom. You look at the top 4, though, only a 5-point advantage. That means a false start, a little bit of a spinning the wheels, a bump or something like that. You can be first or you can be fourth. Late speed could be a deciding factor. Lady Monique, who won't be all that far off the lead here as the closer, does have about a length and a head advantage over the rest of them. So if Lady Monique is close coming out of that turn, could be difficult to hold that one off. Our top total pace horse is indeed Lady Monique. Castellana right there as well. Got, again, the 1, 3, 6, and 7, considerably better than the 5, 4, and 2. These 4 should produce the winner, maybe the exacta, trifecta, superfecta. Terry, how did you rank them?
Okay, I like, as my pick of the day, the 1, Castellina. She finished 3rd versus Tougher in her last race, drops a class a day, and the rail post went in 30% clip, and she has a high percentage winning trainer, and Paco Lopez is the jockey. And then number 6, She Can Scat is my second pick, finished 3rd versus Similar in her last race, has a high percentage winning trainer, and this trainer wins 31% of the main claiming races he has a horse entered in. And then the 7, Royal Upstart, is my 3rd choice. She has a highest last speed rating and can improve with blinkers added today. Lady Monique is my long shot. She's the 3 horse. Drops in class today, has a trainer, wins 22% of the races when taking a horse from a route to a sprint. And I'm going to bet $16 to win on number 1.
El numero uno carrying the 20. I'm going to try to beat, Terry, the 1 horse and the 3 horse. I think those 2 are going to probably be your favorites. She Can Scat. Going to try to beat those 2 favorites. They are the most obvious choices. And I think that She Can Scat has, you can see, a pretty good shot to be on the lead, but doesn't really need it. Last time out, the horse did run faster fractions at 6 furlongs than it did at 5.5 furlongs. That's an indication that the horse is really coming to form. And then since then, the trainers put 2 works in there to keep the saw sharp. I think you're going to see the very best of She Can Scat today. If not, Castellana, going to head to the front. One that should benefit from cutting back in distance today. Certainly has the most back class if you look at the 1 back in here before it headed to the sidelines there. But it's just been downhill since. Regression. That horse is going to have to find its back class to get the job done. Not a big fan of horses that are heading in the wrong direction. Lady Monique is going to be the 3rd choice for me. I think the 2nd favorite when the betting gets started. Going to drop in class. I think it could have more upside potentially than the 1 because it's won less races. And then, run in less races. None of them have won yet. And then finally, Royal Upstart, the 7 horse, the final call for me. Class dropper, just making her career start, number 3. So some unlimited potential for upside there. This one looks more like a closer, though, than a front runner. And I think you're going to need speed at Gulfstream in the mud today. 6-1-3-7, hoping to beat those 2 favorites on the back end to close out my pick 4. Philip John, how are you today? Thanks for joining us. We appreciate that. Christopher D'Souza, by the way, in race number 7, said, take a look at the daily double. Straight up, ice cold, 3-4. Race number 8, 4, 3, and 6. And then right in here, race 8, my pick of the day, number 4 to win, $20. There we go, Terry. I think Christopher owes you coffee, right? If I remember correctly.
It does, yeah.
Are we going double or nothing on that, guys, today?
Sure,
Chris,
let's
I know
do
your
that.
game, so hit me up in the comment section. Again, today, joining us for the first time, kindly hit the like button or retweet if you're watching us on Twitter. Follow us on all of our social sites down there below if you haven't done so yet. Our Swiss Army Sean does a phenomenal job of keeping people up to speed of what's going on in the horse racing world on all of our social sites. And then thumbs up are always helpful with the algorithms, as are comments. Any interaction helps us with the Google algorithms. Tomorrow, Terry and I will be back again for Gulfstream Park starting at 1 o'clock p.m. again Eastern. So look forward to that 9-race card with Terry. Again, Monday and Tuesday we'll do Parks. And then Wednesday and Thursday back to Gulfstream. On Friday, Foreign Friday with Tom and I. Not sure what track we're going to do yet. My guess is there'll be some big races down in Australia that we'll cover. Talk about the 4 little in the last race here. My Sarasota Queen. All right, let's pull up the 4 horse. My Sarasota Queen. All right, I have maybe to yes on here as my because I go through them and look at the 73. Can it run 73? So far, it hasn't done it yet, but chance to improve in the 3rd race after a layoff. I did look here and saw that the fractions were a little bit slower, but that's to be expected when the horse goes a little bit longer. You do see some across the board improvement right here. That's the yes part of it for me. Because you see in the prior start here, you had 80 versus 90, 81 versus 84, 65 through 72. So you do see the horse progressing. You do see that the horse did carry its speed longer here. That was at this level. So the horse can contend up front. Did kind of tail off a little bit at the end. The concern for me here, though, really was the trainer, David Brady. Very cold barn. 2023, 123 races, so maybe won 9 of them, maybe 10 of them. Not a real big winner. 3rd off the layoff so far, no wins, only 1 out of 4 in the money. And when they do show up, it's a -2 ROI, meaning the horses are highly favored by the bettors. So that was the reason why that one ended up being my 5th pick, Terry.
He does have a decent workout on the 25th of February, though. 48.3 breezing. That shows she's fit. So,
and that's coming off of really good work right there. Yeah. And our good friend Chris Parmalu says this is his favorite handicapping angle of all. A horse that finished 2nd in a maiden race the last time out because it just needs to beat 1 horse this time around. But those are the reasons why I put it 5th, Christopher. If you have any other questions like Christopher about handicapping, just about general things, anything really, comments, always feel free to ask us. You can follow me on Twitter at HRTRich. I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have there as well. If you have any races that you'd like for me to take a look at, I'd be glad to do that. Tim Silva agrees with you, so he doesn't agree with me. Thank you, Tim. We appreciate the backup, my man.
Yeah.
All right, Terry, any final thoughts from you before we get out of here and make our way towards tomorrow's Gulfstream card?
Well, just take it easy. Be careful because you just don't know what's going to happen. Things crop up. And just have a really nice rest of the week. Today is hump day, so we're going to go on the downside of this week.
No, I think you got that backwards, Terry. It's hump day because Monday and Tuesday you're working your way up. You're working your way down the hill, right? Now it's the other way. I don't know. It's going to get better is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think you work up and then work down. So because you're going towards that weekend where you can rest. If you have those days off. But other than that, just have a great time and be good.
Yes, indeed. Be good. And hopefully our picks are good today. No matter what you're doing in your life pursuits, horse racing, career, some kind of personal goal, we certainly hope it has God's grace, God's favor. Every single thing you do and your horse racing picks, Terry, end up in
the winner's circle.
And dude, thanks for joining us on this hump day. Terry and I look forward to joining you on Terrific Terry Thursday.